Okay, so if you feel like you're just constantly running, trying to keep your emotions from boiling over, you are definitely not alone in that.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels like modern life just keeps throwing things at us, right? And that feeling of being overwhelmed emotionally, it can feel almost permanent sometimes. Deadlines, conflicts popping up, just being constantly connected. It's a lot.
It really is. Finding that inner balance feels harder than ever.
Exactly. But what if the answer isn't about, fighting those intense feelings or trying to get rid of them? What if it's about changing how you relate to them?
That's the core idea.
So today we're doing a deep dive into mindfulness. I think sometimes people dismiss it, think it's a bit fluffy, but we're looking at it as a really practical, measurable tool for stabilizing your whole emotional world.
That's the mission for today, yeah. We've gathered some really interesting material that takes mindfulness from this sort of vague idea into something concrete, an evidence-based strategy. And specifically, we're digging into how even brief daily practice, we're talking maybe 15 minutes a day, can actually rewire your brain physically to better handle those intense emotions.
15 minutes, wow.
Yeah, the science on the rapid cognitive changes is genuinely surprising. It's not just theory.
Okay, before we jump into the brain science, let's just pin down what we mean by mindfulness. What is that practice, really?
Good starting point. So at its heart, mindfulness is about anchoring your attention. Right here, right now, in the present moment.
Okay, you become really aware of what you're sensing, what you're feeling, your body, sounds around you, even your thoughts. But here's the key part. You do it without judging it, without interpreting it. No judgment. That's the tricky part.
It is. You're just observing. The aim isn't necessarily to feel instantly calm, though that can happen. It's more about gaining mental clarity. Some sources call it creating a serene inner sanctuary.
All right, let's unpack that core mechanism then, because I think this is where a lot of us get tripped up. When we feel something really strongly, like anger or sadness, we tend to just become it.
Exactly. Total identification.
We say, I am angry, or I am sad, like it's our whole identity in that moment.
And that identification is what makes the emotion feel so solid, so stuck. Mindfulness pushes for this subtle but really profound shift. You move from, I am angry, to noticing, okay, there's anger arising right now.
So separating yourself from the feeling.
Yeah, recognizing these intense feelings are temporary states. They're like objects passing through your awareness, not permanent fixtures of you.
I think the analogy our sources use is really helpful here. Makes it clearer.
The weather analogy. Yeah, I like that one too. Think of your awareness, your basic consciousness as this huge open sky.
Okay.
And emotions, joy, fear, frustration, whatever, just the weather passing through that sky. Rain, fog, sunshine.
Comes and goes.
Exactly. The weather is always changing, it's fleeting. But the sky itself, it's always there, fundamentally undisturbed. And, those really upsetting emotions, they need fuel. They need our thoughts, our internal stories about why we feel that way to stick around.
So if you stop feeding the story,
the emotion itself tends to naturally lose its intensity and pass much quicker.
So the critical step then is creating that little bit of space, that pause.
Yeah.
Between the thing that happens, the email, the comment, whatever, and your automatic knee-jerk reaction.
That pause is the practice. That's where the magic happens, really. It gives you that mental breathing room to choose how you want to respond instead of just reacting on autopilot.
Makes sense.
And to help structure that non-judgmental observation, especially when things feel really tough, there's a technique called RAIN, R-A-I-N.
RAIN. Okay, what does that stand for?
So R is for recognize, just acknowledging what's happening, naming it. Okay, this is anxiety, or wow, that's frustration.
Got it. Recognize.
Then A is for allow. Let the emotion be there. Don't fight it. Don't try to shove it away. Just allow its presence.
Allow. Okay, that sounds counterintuitive, but I see the logic.
It really is. Then I was for investigate, but with curiosity, not judgment. Like, where do I actually feel this in my body? Is it tightness in the chest, heat in my face, hollowness in the stomach?
Okay, investigate physically, and the N.
N can stand for non-attachment, Or sometimes nurture with self-compassion.
All right, let's be real. Non-attachment or nurture.
Yeah.
When you're already triggered and feeling awful, that sounds incredibly hard. How do the sources suggest we actually do that?
Yeah, that's definitely the hardest step because our default is often self-criticism, right? Why am I feeling this way?
Dirty.
So non-attachment really just means remembering you are not the emotion. You're the sky, it's the weather. And nurture means consciously offering yourself some kindness, maybe just thinking, this is really difficult right now and it's okay to feel this way.
So shifting from beating yourself up to supporting yourself.
Exactly. Grounding the whole thing in self-compassion, not just discipline.
Okay, so if we're training our minds like this, creating that pause, observing, is something actually changing in the brain. Physically.
Okay.
Let's get into the hard science, neuroplasticity.
Absolutely. This isn't just psychological theory. It has measurable biological effects. That process we talked about, sustained non-judgmental attention, it acts like exercise for specific parts of the brain.
Exercise for the brain. I like that.
Regular practice literally strengthens the connections in your prefrontal cortex, the PFC. That's your brain's CEO, basically, responsible for rational thought, planning, decision-making, and crucially, emotional control.
Right, the executive function hub.
Precisely. And at the same time, it strengthens the pathways that help calm down the amygdala.
The amygdala.
Yeah.
That's the alarm bell, right? The fear center.
That's the one. So mindfulness practice helps turn down the volume on that primal alarm system while boosting the part of your brain that can think clearly and regulate the response.
So you're literally building up your capacity for a thoughtful response and reducing the hair trigger reactions.
That's a great way to put it. You're enhancing neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to adapt, change, and form healthier, calmer neural pathways over time.
Okay, that makes sense. But you can't really talk about brain health and emotional resilience without talking about sleep, can you?
No, absolutely not. Sleep is fundamental. We often treat mental health struggles and sleep problems like they're separate issues, but they are deeply, deeply intertwined.
How so? What do the sources say about that connection?
Well, sleep deprivation throws your whole central nervous system out of whack almost immediately, and that has a rapid, direct impact on emotional stability.
Okay.
When you don't get enough rest, several key brain chemicals get disrupted. Think about dopamine, for instance.
The motivation molecule.
Yeah, kind of. Lack of sleep messes with dopamine systems, which can lead to that feeling of blah. Lack of motivation, trouble making decisions, just general apathy.
I think we've all felt that after a bad night.
Right. And then there's serotonin. That's a major mood regulator. When serotonin pathways are disrupted by poor sleep, you see more mood swings, increased anxiety, irritability. In really extreme cases, even things like psychosis can be linked to severe sleep deprivation.
Wow. Okay, so dopamine, serotonin, what else?
The big one is cortisol, the stress hormone.
Ah, cortisol. Always cortisol.
Right. When you're sleep deprived, your cortisol levels get dysregulated. Your body basically stays stuck in this low-level fight or flight state.
Even when there's no actual threat.
Exactly. And that not only increases inflammation throughout your body, but ironically, it also impairs the functioning of the prefrontal cortex, the very part we need working well to manage stress and emotions.
So it's a truly vicious cycle. Stress messes up your sleep. Lack of sleep creates more physical stress and messes up your brain chemicals. And all of that makes it harder to think clearly and handle the initial stressor.
You got it. That's why prioritizing sleep, aiming for that solid 7 to 9 hours consistently isn't just about feeling less tired. It's a crucial preventative measure for maintaining emotional and mental balance.
Okay, this actually leads perfectly into one of the most fascinating bits of research we've found. Because a lot of people hear meditation and think, I don't have hours a day for that. The time commitment feels like a huge barrier.
It really does. And that's exactly what the researchers in one particular study, a randomized controlled trial from 2016, wanted to address. They tested something they called brief mindfulness meditation, or BMM.
Brief. How brief?
Just 15 minutes a day for 7 consecutive days. They tested it on healthy young adults.
Okay, 15 minutes a day for 1 week. That sounds doable. What happened?
The results were pretty remarkable, especially given how short the intervention was. They found that this brief practice significantly improved core emotional processing abilities.
Processing abilities, what does that mean exactly?
Okay, they saw three main things change in the BMM group. First, participants reported feeling less emotional intensity in response to stimuli, both positive and negative pictures they were shown. It's like the volume dial on their emotions got turned down a bit, more towards neutral.
Interesting. Less intense reactions overall. What else?
Second, their emotional memory response time got significantly faster. They became quicker at processing emotional information, whether it was positive, negative, or neutral. Their brains just handled it more efficiently.
It's after processing. Okay. And maybe the most important finding, clinically speaking. They showed a reduced attentional bias towards negative stimuli,
Meaning their attention was less likely to get stuck on negative information. Their focus shifted naturally towards a more balanced perspective rather than automatically zooming in on the bad stuff. These are real, measurable changes in how the brain handles emotional data after just 1 week of 15-minute sessions.
That's genuinely impressive for such a short time. But here's where it gets really interesting, right? The control group. They didn't just have the mindfulness group.
Exactly. They had another group, the control, called the Emotional Regulation Education, or ERE group.
What do they do?
They were taught sort of traditional strategies for recognizing and regulating emotions intellectually. Think like cognitive reappraisal techniques. But, and this is crucial, they didn't do the mindfulness practice. They didn't have that non-judgmental awareness piece or the focus on breath and body sensations.
Okay, so they learned about emotions, but didn't practice observing them mindfully. What happened to that group?
This is the kicker. The ERE group actually saw increases in their self-reported depression scores and in the intensity of their negative emotional reactions after the week.
Wait, what? Learning how to regulate emotions made them feel worse.
It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? But the researchers suggest that just increasing your awareness of negative emotions without also cultivating that non-judgmental acceptance that comes with mindfulness practice might actually backfire for some people.
So becoming hyper-aware of your anxiety or frustration, but then judging yourself for having it could actually make the distress worse.
That's the hypothesis, yeah. It might lead to more self-criticism or getting stuck ruminating on the negative feeling. This study really highlights that the practice part, the actual brief daily act of non-judgmental presence, seems to be the key ingredient for stability, not just knowing about emotions intellectually.
That's a massive takeaway. The doing is essential, not just the knowing.
It really seems so.
Okay, so we see these rapid changes in brain function and emotional processing. How does this translate into, everyday life? Especially in high-pressure situations, let's talk about emotional intelligence, or EI.
Yeah, there's a strong link there. The research consistently shows that mindfulness practice is positively related to core EI skills.
Such as?
Well, things like better emotional regulation, obviously.
Yeah.
But also increased self-compassion, which we talked about with Rain, and better self-care practices. Essentially, EI is about accurately perceiving your own emotions, understanding them, and using that information to guide your thinking and behavior effectively. Mindfulness sharpens all of those abilities.
And we see this playing out professionally, right? I know there are studies, particularly in really demanding fields like healthcare.
Oh, definitely. Healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors, therapists, they face immense emotional demands daily. Dealing with pain, suffering, loss, patient anxiety. It leads to incredibly high rates of burnout and emotional exhaustion.
It's completely understandable.
And studies show that mindfulness training acts as a significant protective factor against that burnout. By helping regulate that amygdala reactivity and strengthening the PFC, practitioners are better equipped to maintain their own emotional balance, improve their mood, and cultivate the self-compassion needed to handle that intense emotional labor without getting completely depleted.
So it builds resilience in these really tough environments.
It really does seem to buffer against the negative effects.
Okay, so for someone listening right now, maybe feeling that stress building, besides committing to that 15-minute daily practice, is there a quick tool? Something they can use right in the moment when they feel that emotional weather's starting to shift?
Yeah, a really simple and effective one is the STOP technique, STOP.
S-O-P.
Okay.
S is just
Yeah.
stop. Whatever you're doing, literally pause for a moment. Freeze. Just stop. Got it.
Take a breath. Maybe 1, 2, or 3 slow, deep breaths. This helps calm your nervous system down almost instantly.
Okay, take a breath.
Observe. Briefly notice what's going on inside. What thoughts are racing? What feelings are present? What sensations are in your body? Just observe, again, without judgment.
Observe, like a quick internal scan.
Exactly. And finally, P is proceed mindfully. Based on that brief observation, choose how you want to move forward intentionally rather than just reacting automatically. Stop, take a breath, observe, proceed mindfully. That's actually very practical, easy to remember.
It is. And like the daily practice, consistency is key. Even using S-Stoppy a few times a day starts to build that muscle of pausing and choosing your response.
Yeah.
It builds that long-term resilience.
So wrapping this all up, it feels like the main message from this deep dive is that mindfulness isn't about trying to force yourself not to feel things. It's not suppression.
Not at all. It's really about fully acknowledging that emotions happen, recognizing they're like clouds passing in the sky, transient, and then observing them without piling on judgment or getting lost in the story we tell ourselves about them.
Precisely. That non-resistance, that acceptance, is paradoxically what allows the difficult feelings to loosen their grip and create space for a more peaceful, stable mind.
And if there's one key insight for people to take away, especially from the science we looked at, I think it has to be the power of brevity. The evidence is solid. Even a very brief daily practice, just 15 minutes, consistently applied for even just 1 week, can lead to measurable improvements in how your brain fundamentally processes emotions. That small investment pays off surprisingly quickly.
It really does seem to. That accessibility is, I think, really encouraging.
Definitely. Okay, so here's a final provocative thought for you, our listener, to maybe chew on today. We know that emotional distress often shows up physically, right? Headaches, fatigue, stomach problems, things that don't always have a clear medical explanation.
That mind-body connection is undeniable. So the next time you notice one of those unexplained physical symptoms flaring up, maybe try pausing. Don't just investigate the physical sensation itself, but also gently check in with the emotional weather you're carrying in that moment. Ask yourself, what feeling might this physical sensation be trying to signal? What's underneath the surface? It's an interesting inquiry. Paying attention not just to the symptom, but the potential emotional message behind it.
Exactly. Something to explore.